Hi everyone, Stepan here with game 97. I am gonna play f4. I've decided to mix things up in these videos and I'm going to be playing my repertoire, I'm gonna be playing my new repertoire, I'm gonna be playing weird openings, and I want to get as much training as I can. As we all know by now, I'm comfortable in slow positions and usually quite uncomfortable in tactical ones, and I'm therefore going to be trying to play many different openings. And let me just turn up the volume a bit. And I'm also going to be trying to play tactical openings. So we have the bird, or more precisely we have the reverse Dutch. My opponent wants the bishop on b7. I don't see the point to that, because okay, they may have e4. Okay, I'm gonna go queen e1 for now. On knight c6, I'm gonna go a3 to prevent knight b4. I want to go e4 without having to exchange queens. Now actually on knight c6, I will go e4. Because my opponent... Okay, wait. So e4, d4 is not an option, so I either have to support the e4 square once again, or I have to play bishop d1, supporting the e4 square. I actually like bishop d1. Bishop d1 with e4 to follow. Can my opponent play knight c5? Maybe. Bishop d1, knight c5, b4, knight d7, a3. There is a5. This is going to be tricky. I'm still going to go bishop d1. If my opponent does not play c5, knight c5, I'm playing e4. My opponent's rating is 2296. Have we ever played before? No. I'm guessing knight c5 is a good move, because if e4 comes, that's going to be quite uncomfortable for my opponent. But then again, what's knight c5 doing, other than preventing e4 from being played? If I were black, I don't know if I'd go for that. Maybe even e5, preparing e5 with bishop d6 or c5 queen c7 is a better idea. So c5 e4, takes, queen c7. Then I do have e5. I also have f5. If knight c5, b4, knight d7, I don't really have a3. So, because if a3, then a5. And then what do I do? Rook b1? Maybe rook b1. So knight c5, b4, knight d7, a3, a5, rook b1, ab. How does my opponent stop e4 now? They could go c5, takes, e4. Well, no, takes isn't possible. Oh, it is. Yeah. No, it's not, because I do have d4 and the bishop on b7 is hanging. I have a rook on b1. So let's go over that again. Knight c5, b4, knight d7, a3, a5, rook b1, ab, c5, bc. No, I'm hallucinating. There's still a pawn on b6. So bc, knight c prevents e4 once again. So I think knight c5 works. Okay, this also works, but I do have bishop d2. Bishop d2, and then if knight c5, I have a3, b4 with tempo. Does that work? So bishop d2, if my opponent plays c5... Wait. No, now I'm not playing for e4. Now I'm playing for a3, b4. I don't think bishop b4 was a good idea, because my opponent's going to have to exchange and give me all the dark squares. And I'm going to have full control over e5 and d4. And this knight on d7 is misplaced, because my opponent really wants to go d4. Okay, now they want to go e5, so let's prevent that by playing a3. If my opponent takes, there is no e5. If my opponent moves the bishop back, then I do go e4. And strategic goal accomplished. This bishop is blocked. Yeah, now e4, e5, takes. Takes. Okay, let's calculate e4, d, e5, f5. e4, e5, f5, d4, knight d2. e4, d. It's very tempting to go e4. It's also very tempting to go knight e5 to prevent e5. So knight e5 takes, knight d7, d4. Then my bishop is dead. I don't want to do that. e4, d4, d4, e5. How do I react to e5? Very tempted to go f5. Bishop c5 check. There's also knight c5, putting triple pressure on the pawn on e4. And that I cannot allow. So e4, d4. Yeah, maybe I don't go e4. I'm not too happy about that, but maybe I don't go e4. Maybe I go knight e5. Yeah, I am going knight e5. I don't like e4. I cannot allow e5. I'm still controlling d4, so not much has changed. If I get to play e4 now there's no e5, so... If I'm preventing d4 and e5, my opponent really has no significant pawn breaks. c5, okay, makes sense, but now they are threatening d4. So let's say I go, and there is no knight c5. Let's say I go e4, takes, knight e5, d5, knight d7. I can also go queen f2, preventing d4. I like that, and preventing knight e5. Nice. Okay, so now knight e5 is not an option, d4 is not an option. d4 is an option, because there's bishop c5 in the end. Idiot. Don't lose your queen. Don't lose your queen. Yeah. Okay, not the end of the world. I missed d4. So, knight e2, followed by knight g3. Or I don't want to play takes, knight d2, because then I'm giving my opponent the c5 square. So definitely knight e2. Knight e5 is still impossible. Now I'm threatening to play e4. My opponent has to take on e3. Has to take on e3. Otherwise e4. I think this is absolutely forced. You cannot allow e4. And the way I see it, I'm playing against this bishop on f8 quite successfully, because with this pawn on c5, there's no bishop c5. And I'm controlling the entire board. Wait, what? How is this possible? What did I miss? This hangs f7 and the b7 bishop. That's why I played queen f2. What? My opponent's just losing now. This is immediately losing. Resigns. Okay, options. Bishop d2 is definitely a move. Not a move I want to play, but definitely a move. Bishop f4 is also a move. Not a move I want to play, but definitely a move. So bishop f4, if queen d5, which I'm expecting, attacking g2, then rook f3 seems forced to me. And I can then follow that up with rook g3. So yeah, I don't want to give away my e5 pawn. I also don't want to give away my bishop. So yes, I'm playing bishop f4. It also defends h2 in the event of queen h4. I couldn't have taken the bishop really, because I didn't want to give away my e3 bishop. Maybe it's not immediately losing. I thought that knight g4 was less scary. My knight is so good at covering d4. I'm so happy I have a knight on e2. Okay, so rook f3 is forced. And now my next move is going to be rook g3. I did not see that. Why didn't I see that? Why isn't the bishop on b7 hanging? I don't get it. Queen b7, queen b2, rook c1? I'm just gonna take that bishop because I don't see why not. I don't know. I think I'm just up a piece. I, I didn't see knight e5, but I don't think it's good. Queen b2 does nothing. I just play rook c1. Bishop d6 does nothing because I have rook h3, followed by queen e4. Yeah, I'm up a piece. This isn't working for my opponent. I mean, I can still mess this up, but I'm up a full piece. Is my first birds opening gonna be a win? Come on! I'm very excited when I play new openings. I'm afraid to play them. So winning would be great. Wants to play bishop c5 check. I am going to prevent that. Definitely. Now the queen is misplaced. Okay. Wants to take my knight and then take my rook. Unfortunately, the rook on a8 is still hanging, so that doesn't really work. Let's be careful. Let's not blunder. Yeah, I think I can just go rook I can just go c3. I'm sorry, the phone's ringing in the other room. So c3, ed, cd. He can throw in rook b8. But then I have queen f4. Okay, this works. I'm playing c3 because I'm defending my rook with my queen, and my opponent's hanging mate on f8. And also I have rook c2 in some cases. If rook a b8, then queen c7, rook a c8, queen f4 defends the rook. And on rook e2 there is rook queen f8 mate. Maybe my tactics training is paying off. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of stuff. We're gonna see when we analyze the game. Maybe I'm missing a ton, but... Okay, I did miss knight e5. It didn't work, but I still missed it. But I think the lines that I have been calculating, I've calculated correctly. So rook b8, queen c7, rook c8, queen f4, rook e2, there is queen f8 mate. So that doesn't work. What else? I don't see what my opponent could possibly try here. Maybe queen takes a3, but that's defended now because I don't have, because my rook defends. I don't know what that does. I don't know what that does. I don't know what it does, but I think I play queen f7 to tie down black's rooks, and then bishop d6. Ah, I don't have rook g3. So maybe I just play queen c6. Or even queen c7. Yeah, queen c7 preventing bishop d6. Oh, but then rook e2. What am I saying? My opponent also has queen e1 check. Now, I don't think it's good, but how can I connect my rooks? Oh, can I play bishop a4? Bishop a4, if queen e2, then bishop e8, rook e8, and can I play queen f7? No, but I can play, maybe I can play queen f7. Bishop a4 is interesting. Bishop a4. If rook e2, then I simply go rook a8. And on queen c1, rook f1 should be winning. Queen e3 check, king h1. Maybe I can do something without blundering away all of my pieces. And maybe that something is queen c6. But then rook c8 is a problem. If I go queen f7, my opponent plays bishop d6. Then I take on c4, and I'm defending my knight. And my rook. Okay, queen f7. Queen f7 does the trick, I feel. Queen f7, if rook e2, then queen f8 mate. If bishop d6, then queen takes c4. If queen e1, then rook f1. I did not see that. Why didn't I see that? And the worst part is that I don't have rook g3 because of queen e1 check. And wait, on rook a3, can my opponent play rook f8? Most likely. Followed by queen e1 checkmate. Rook c3, rook f8. Oh, do I have rook a7? No, I don't, because of queen e1. Okay, so maybe I don't have anything better than queen c4. Queen c4, bishop c1, queen c1, queen c1, knight c1. Queen c4, queen e1, rook f1, queen c4, rook e2, bishop e2, bishop c1, queen c4, rook e2. Yeah, I have to play bishop e2, then bishop c1. Okay, I think I can get away with rook a1. I think so. I'm down to a minute. How did I miss bishop a3? At least now if they take twice on e2, I take on a3. Oh, but it's not mate if you take the rook. It is mate. It is mate. No. Because they start with queen e1. Yeah, I don't have a way out. What warning? I just couldn't find the move. A lot of comments. Yeah, let's analyze. I'm going to increase the size of this thing. I don't think I had a way out in the end. Okay. This kind of equality is normal in the bird. Black isn't playing for an advantage with... Okay, knight e5 is good. Queen f2 is good. Wait, I should have taken and knight b5. Okay, yeah, now... Queen f7, king h8, bishop f4, rook f3 is forced. Yeah, I'm just winning now. d4 is a mistake. I should have gone queen e4. Wow. Wow. Queen f7 is a losing blunder. I actually had to go rook f1 because of this back rank threat. Yeah, I cannot take the bishop. All the tactics fail. Like if I take the bishop, then just rook e2 or rook f8 even. Rook f8 is simpler. I'd have to take. I was thinking I had rook a7, but I don't because queen e1 check first. So instead of queen f7, what were my other candidates? Rook f1 was definitely not on the radar. Maybe h3, but then I was afraid of bishop d6. Yeah, this is still better for me. Not a good game. Not a good game, but exciting. I mean, I was winning, then I messed it up. What can you do? Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.